Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. How are you today? I'm coming at you live from southern Tasmania's relapse into winter. It is absolutely pouring rain. It is so dark outside. It's misty and it's windy. And we have had gale force winds coming through, and everything's just been really, really active and dynamic outside. So I have been working here today, and I've been sort of tucked away, working on social media posts for all of my Patreon groups, because on Patreon, you don't really get to have interactive spaces with people. So I have, Card Slinger group, a private Card Slinger group on Facebook for the Card Slinger tier. And then the Magic Library has its own little Facebook group, and the Coven has its own little Facebook group. So I do a lot of posting and live videos and that kind of stuff over there. And I've been organizing content for Patreon as well. To make it really exciting over there. And then I thought it's time to take a bit of a break. I've been listening to an audiobook while I have been chipping away here. Confirming addresses has been on my agenda of things to do as well for Bonestone. And I've been listening to Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And I wanted to unbox the Witch's Chest from Earthly Alchemy. Now, this one came with a fragile sticker all over it. Now, I'm in my tiny home right now, and hi, Sarah. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Amethyst. How you going? Yes, I'm in my tiny home right now, and that is because my father-in-law is visiting, and I have sort of opened up my cottage, my little witchy cottage up the top with all my filming equipment and my bigger computer and all of that. So I'm just filming off my, I'm just filming off my MacBook right now, which is fine because it's a good newish computer. So I have the Witch's Chest here. The light here is absolutely appalling. I'm going to see, because it looks really grainy, so I'm going to just see if I can turn on some more lights because it is quite dark, so just bear with me. Okay, that looks just moderately better at the very least. I'm facing as many of the windows as I possibly can, so I need a drink. Folks. Suddenly got thirsty. It was meant to snow up on the mountain today, so I took my sister up. There was no snow. Lots of mist, lots of wind, but no snow. So here we have the content of the Witch's Chest, the box. We're going to go through it. The theme of the box is Witch's Spirit, which is here. And it reads, Witch's Spirit reminds us to connect with our personal spirit and the spirits of nature. As we walk our path, we must always remember to give reverence with those spirits around us. As you connect to your higher consciousness, we receive messages from our guides and ancestors. With this month's parcel, we have created a mix of tools for you to connect with your personal space. As witches, we can harness our magic by utilizing tools in our daily practice. This allows us to grow on our journey with spirit. The witch's spirit can also be interpreted as our personal spirit in our daily life. This can remind us how we interact with our fellow witches, family, friends, and nature. This can remind us to connect from spirit to spirit rather than a place of ego. We hope you love the handcrafted and hand-selected products within this month's Witch's Spirit box. And that is blessings from Elder Crow and Lotus Moon. So in here we have Witch's Amethyst, Pendulum, and Pouch. I love amethyst. If there was a spirit stone that I had to appoint, it would be amethyst. I just It just is. Pendulum and Pendulum board, to start Book of Shadows artwork. Spiritus Burgo Spirit Cleanser. Aura spray. I'm all over that. I love his sprays. Witch's Sight Ritual Oil. I'm all over that as well. Desert Rose Crystal. Spirit Sigil. Nettle Leaf in Apothecary Jar. And Nettle Book of Shadows page. So let's just, I'm just going to dim the sound. Hang on. Oh, who's that? Just a Laura. Not just a Laura, but it's a bit late for a Laura, actually. All right, so we have this beauty right here. Spirit Sigil. It's so bright. It is so like, woo, woo, woo. Okay, so we have the two Book of Shadow pages. This is the Pendulum Book of Shadow page right here. And this is the Nettle Book of Shadow page right here. That's the back of the Witch's Pendulum Book of Shadow. So that serves as its own pendulum board. As you can see, it has the yes, no, maybe kind of thing. And then personal notes on the back of the botanical illustrations, which I think is a good touch because it allows you then to go ahead and put your own notes. Good Lord. Okay, so this is Nettle in the beautiful apothecary jar right here. And it's protection, cleansing, and healing. Ooh, it's really fresh. It's a really nice fresh. Yes, it's fresh. It's a fresh one, whatever that means. We're going to have a look in this little squirrely thing. Let's see what we have here. Let us see what we have in this beautiful little, oh, this is the Desert Rose. Oh, this is a really nice piece. Look at how nice and chunky that is. And it comes in this beautiful little drawstring bag. This is a really good, solid drawstring bag. It's sort of like a calico material. And it has the logo for Earthly Alchemy on there. And I think their logo is really, really cute, actually. I think it's one of the cutest little logos. Okay, let's have a look at this oil. The oil has a little sticky on it. I can already smell it. It's so good. Hi, Laura. Hi, Susan. Hi, Kim. Hi, Maria. Hi, Whispers of Three. This was a really spontaneous one. I put a shout out on Instagram like sometime this week, asking people if they would prefer if I did a pre-recorded video unboxing or a live, and lots of people said live. So I thought, why not? Oh, Witch's Sight. Yes, please. But because of the upgrades or the downgrades, I'm not even sure how to refer to it as, because of the changes, let's go with that YouTube has made to its live streaming platforms, I didn't know how to schedule a live, so I just spontaneously jumped on here. Okay, we've got this bad boy here. Not sure what it is. Oh, this is the Aura Spray. And see what they wrap it in? Like this is pure paper, and it's like Juniper Moon of Juniper Moon's Apothecary, one of my favorite Australian witchy botanicals, apothecaries, also uses similar wrapping to that. Really biodegradable, natural. Oh, look at this. And it's in a frosted glass. It looks really milky. Check it. I don't know if that's the glass. It just looks super milky. Taking off my glasses because this is going to need a little tester. Oh my goodness, that smells awesome. That has like clove in it. Oh, I feel amazing. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm going to spray this on my sister. Ooh, it's really got this, reminds me of clove, reminds me of, it's got an aniseed sort of, I can't quite put my finger on the aroma. It's boggling me. It's good. It's so good. It's so good. I feel so good right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It feels so good. I've got to fix. Now I need my glasses again. Do not ingest. Avoid eyes and mouth. Discontinue if irritation. Okay, we get you. Rose hydrosol, purified water, benzoin, almond, coconut sugar, clove. Yes. Lemon, rosemary, cinnamon. Yep. Yeah, okay. So I was around the right ballpark for the aromas. Really fresh, really invigorating. Like that would be a very nice ritual spray. I'm liking that a lot. Okay, so in this beautiful little baggie, look at how cute this is. Like, calm down. Look at the drawstrings on this. Like, this is like legit pretty. Okay. Got a little sticky. I need to open. How do I do that? Yep, that's the button that I needed. Now I can see everything that's being said. Hi, Heather. I do, Amethyst. I do get into my sprays and I dig it. I dig it. Ooh, okay. Look, that just flopped out of the pendulum. So let's just, like, without further ado. Oh, wow. Oh, this is really, like, weighty. This is really weighty. It's got a nice weight to it. I actually like the wing to hold on to it. Oh, I like how this one sort of feels. I like how it, I want to see, because it did come with the pendulum board. So, just making space here. I'm in my tiny home and everything in my home is like small and all that kind of good fun stuff. So I want to just going to test it just in case you want to see. Hang on. Well, I got a nice yes for whether or not it was a good idea to do this unboxing live. I'm liking it. It has a good voice. Maybe I'll do live pendulum readings one day and just like put these two babies to the test, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Experimentation. Experimentation. So what did you think, folks? What was your favorite item? We had the Spiritus Apurcio, right here. That's the beautiful spray. We had the Witch's Sight, which, by the way, I tested. It's just really fresh. No remarkable feature to it. It's just a very fresh, earthy type of aroma. I'm not getting any definitive note out of it, if that makes sense. So that is that beautiful one there. Then we have Nettle. And the label on Nettle reads purification, cleansing, and healing, which I'm getting a lot of that whole entire purification, cleansing vibe from this particular box. And then we had the beautiful Desert Rose, which I don't know why, but people love to send me Desert Rose. I've received so many Desert Roses of late, and I equate them to spirit. I believe they're their own little spirit guides, if you will. And so another little spirit guide for my collection. And then the Amethyst Pendulum, which is, for those who are a little bit more of a connoisseur of pendulum, if there is such a thing, this is wire wrapped and it's a rough point. The pendulum itself hasn't been pierced in any way, and the chain itself is a decent length. I prefer my pendulum chains to be slightly longer than this, but that's just my own personal taste, and I can't tell you why. I've had instances where I've had pendulums that have had a chain that's like that short. Like, look at all that's missing there. It's pretty much half of what that was, and that really bothers me. I like to have a pendulum that's nice and long so I can feel the swing. I don't know how to quite put it, but it makes the experience feel a lot richer and more tactile to me. If it's too short, then it's lighter, I feel, and as such, I can't feel the subtlety of spirit moving through the pendulum as I personally like to. But we all have little quirks, you know, our preferences. And so the Witch's Pendulum, which, let's just state, it looks pretty good. One of the simplest tools to use within your spiritual practice, the divination tool, is great to work with when needing an answer from spirit. By connecting with this tool, it allows us to tap into the higher consciousness and the realms of spirit. And it says more, obviously. To connect with your pendulum, start by setting your sacred space, relax and meditate. Pass the pendulum through the desired incense. It's got a nice little ritual in there, which I thoroughly appreciate. And then a little on Nettle. So Nettle, also known as stinging nettle, gender masculine, planet Mars, element fire, powers. Got hair on my lip. Oh. Strand of hair was annoying me. Powers, exorcism, protection, healing, cleansing, and banishment. Now, exorcism is a very common word that you'll find utilized in witchcraft quite a bit. And basically, it refers to the removal of unwanted and negative or dark energy. The very term itself, exorcism, is the removal of a spirit in a way. And there are certain herbs that are better for that type of spiritual practice, if you will. My personal favorite one for really providing the home with that exorcism type experience where I'm removing every shred of energy from that space. It's a delicate process, but I like to use asafoetida powder. It stinks. Sulfur. So we also had the spirit sigil here, which is really cute and possibly one to put in your sacred space. These colors wildly clash with everything that I own and, well, not own. These colors are actually quite beautiful. I like the use of them, but in my sacred space, they would stand right out. And so we had the chatter about every single item. So we have a good snippet of information about every single item in the box. So really good, fun thing. Now, Elder Crow reached out to me the other day and asked if I would like to do a giveaway of one of his boxes, and I said I would love to. So when we can organize that, I will be unboxing one box and giving away one box. I still haven't filmed my unboxing of the excuse me, the Witch's Moon. because I've had my father-in-law staying and I haven't had my office, my space, my cottage to film in. So I'm feeling pretty, I need to get in there. Now for some updates, folks. So I'm currently really back into books. Now, if you have seen my recent video, one of my recent videos, it was about booktube. It was about getting over a 6-year reading slump, and none of that was a lie, folks. I love to read. I had read a few books in that 6-year period, but I hadn't felt the call to read. I hadn't felt, that desire to just bounce from book to book and just really get into it and just, immerse myself in a story and allow a story to captivate my attention. And last night I was reading through the night. I tried to watch a little YouTube. I watched 1 or 2 videos and then I jumped up and read some of the book that I'm reading right now, which is Children of the Blood and Bone by Tomai Adeyemi or something to that effect. I know that I've butchered the name. It's a story of the Odisha, and so it's a fiction read. It's young adult fiction, in fact, and it's a recent release, and it's proving to be an interesting story. I breached the 100-page mark last night, and I've been updating my progress on Goodreads, talking a little bit about how I feel. I have some critiques of the book, but overall, I really am enjoying the story, and it's beautifully magical, and it mentions the Odishas in the correct context so far. And so it mentions Oya as the goddess of life and death. It represents Orunmila as the god of divination and seership, the liminal god that sits between the worlds and like the heavenly world and the world of earth. And so far, it's slowly introducing the Odisha in context, and it's talking about magic, and it's talking about how magic has separated itself from the earth, and it's a really, really good story. Hemmed in a lot. Hi, Avalon. Hi, Miss Honey Bunny. Miss Jez, I've called Avalon live. Yes, I missed the live. Hey, Elder, how you going? Tarot by Kimberly. Hello, Emerald Moonbeck. Hi, everyone who has managed to join in on this chatter. So I'm really interested in this book, folks, and I'm not yet prepared to sort of recommend it just yet. I know that some of you really love to read and some of you really love books, and I'm reading this one, which is a fiction read, and it's not a witchcraft reference or non-fiction style book. I'm still going through Honoring the Ancestors, not because it's a difficult read, but because I've been occupied reading these delicious books. I'm coming off the back of Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, which was coming off the back of Serpent and Dove. So I have read so many books in the last 2 weeks that it's ridiculous, and I'm back, baby. I am back. I'm also listening to Song of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss on audiobooks because I've had a lot of computer work to do, and I've been confirming addresses for the Bone Stone, and I've needed something to sort of just keep me company. And so the story is just like, it's heart-wrenching to me at this moment. I stop every so often just to go, oh, you poor little love. Like it brings a tear to my eye. And I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, when's the magic coming? Like, stop making me feel sad. I don't like books that make me feel sad. Another update, so to speak. Oh, wait, I've got to show you the books that came. Hold on one second. Okay, so the Witch's Box. Are you familiar with the Witch's Box? They do a book subscription box with witchcraft, non-fiction, none of which are beginner level. They are very clear about the fact that they want to go deep with the topics per month. And so this month they sent out The Elements of Spellcrafting, 21 Keys to Successful Sorcery by Jason Miller. That's that one there. And they wrap it up in this beautiful little foil. And they also sent Financial Sorcery by Jason Miller. And they also sent little stickers and, whoa, and the sheet. There we go. So this is what this one says. We are at our second month. I've so enjoyed the conversation taking place in the forum. This month we're super excited. We are revisiting an author whose book I first reviewed almost a year ago and then instantly fell in love with. That book was Sorcerer's Secret by Jason Miller, and it's still a book that calls me back every time I look at it on my shelf. I'm thrilled to say that he was very gracious and signed author book plates for us. So each of your books are signed by him. Oh, he will also be joining us at the end of the month for our live Witches book coven gathering on Zoom. I cannot wait, and we will talk more about this in the forum. So, just to give you a little taste, 2 books, Financial Sorcery. They have, in fact, been autographed here. Both of them have, and that was really nice. It was a really nice touch of the Witches box to create that feature. And I did a live unboxing of this on Instagram, and while I was waiting for laundry at the laundromat, I checked the mail. It was there. I just felt time was right. We have to jump on these things. I can't be expected to pre-record everything anymore, and I've come to the understanding that live is sometimes the fastest, most functional way. And I shy away from a lot of live broadcasts because I don't like how Australian internet is and how bad it can in fact be. And on a day that is quite windy and quite rainy, I was really dubious as to whether or not this would turn out okay. But typically speaking, when it's no good, people start to go, "You're freezing, you're pixelating," and then I just stop. So what have we got here? I finally got your name. That's great. Hello, I finally made it to one of your streams. That's so nice. Hi, Lynn. I caught your video either on here or on Patreon. Can't remember. I was so excited to have one of my favorite people across the world suggesting books. And it's easy for me since I work at a library. That's so awesome, Miss Jess. Financial Sorcery, that's different. Yeah, it is. And I read a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't know how the lives on Instagram work, to be perfectly honest. But if they do, have a look at the live that I made, because I did read portions of the book and they were really good. Like, they were so different, so innovative with their approach, a little bit hard hitting, very common sense, kind of dry and straight to the point, which is so my style, because I hate the flowery. Hate's a strong word. I take it back. I pull that back. Sorry, folks. I don't enjoy, or I find it hard to get into the monotony of that, overly flowery introduction where it's all about the validation of the author and, what they're good at, how they came to be where they are at. I find that there is a place for that in every book, and in Witchcraft Non-Reference books, absolutely, you have to give some context, yes, but you also don't have to occupy chapters about how awesome you are and how unique your experience is. And I don't know, I find it a little bit egotistical when they go too far there, and there's a fine line for me, and I get irked with that kind of thing pretty damn easily. So, and I'm picky, and what can I say? But this one here, we were talking about that very thing, and then I open up the books and I was like, so refreshing. Straight to the point, literally described himself and why he wrote the book in like a paragraph. But that's all that needs to be said, because his intention was there, right? And so I found it really, really interesting and really refreshing to see that, and a totally different vibe to what I got from The Witch's Book of Power and The Witch's Book of Spirit by Devon Hunter. I found those books to be quite lacking, but and I haven't even really wanted to pick them up again. It's not that I won't read them. It's just that, like, I'm busy with awesome books at the moment, and I just have a real DNF vibe with those books. And I've had people go, yeah, I don't think you're going to like that. And those types of recommendations, you know, I genuinely believe, considering the reaction that I'm having to the books. Anyways, not that's neither here nor there. I'm right back into reading, folks. I'm right back into books. I am right back into fiction. Fiction is something that I war with from time to time. I find, I don't know, there's an old kind of professor archetype in me that looks down upon my liking of fiction, and sometimes I scold myself because I don't feel like my brain grows or I learn something from fiction. But lately I've been feeling so, I guess it's so kind of unimpressed with witchcraft non-reference that I found that I'm getting more out of more inspiration, more creativity out of a fiction read, a magical style fiction read, than I do from witchcraft non-fiction. Like I can't tell you the last time that I learned something from a book, from a witchcraft non-fiction book, something that I hadn't ever heard of before. Nothing's innovative to me in that genre. I found honoring the ancestors was really good. There were a few things there that I really had not heard of before, and that is one that actually caught my attention, and for that reason I'm holding it in high regard. And I have very, very high expectations for financial sorcery, for that matter, and Jason Miller's books, because the way that they opened their opening chapters really, sort of sucked me in and gave me something to think about, like straight off the bat. And that was refreshing. That was really refreshing. Add to that they're not very thick books. Like, both of these books are not. Let's have a look at page count. We're looking at, by page 213, you get to the index of financial sorcery, and I'm going to say roughly the same. Okay, 217. You get to the appendix to the keys of successful divination. So they're pretty much, a quick read if you're going to get right stuck into them. And I could see myself getting right stuck into them after I've listened to my Song of the Wind and Children of Blood and Bone, and I've got The Beautiful to read after that. I've got The Glass Sword to read after that. I bought The Lies of Lochlamora for my husband, who seemed very unimpressed with my selection. It was supposed to be a birthday present for the man, and he's impossible to buy for. So I figure if you don't like it, I'll read it. Hard to say if I genuinely bought it for him or if I bought it for myself. Nevertheless, that wasn't the only thing I got him for his birthday. I did get cards, I did get chocolates, and I did book a really nice hotel room for him and my little 4-year-old daughter in the heart of Sydney, so that he could spend 2 days just, sightseeing kind of around there. And that was his primary present. So he likes to get experiences rather than presents, and I can totally get behind that. So one other thing that I would like to say too is, because I am reading a lot of that's not true, because I'm reading a lot of non-fiction and I'm immersing myself in various different genres, I don't want to really intrude upon this channel with that type of vibe, because that's something that's totally separate to what I do here. I usually talk about witchcraft and I talk about tarot, and I don't want anyone to feel as though I'm starting to change the vibe of the channel, because I want this to stay witchcraft and tarot. So what I have done is I have teamed up with my beautiful bestie Alora, and we are starting a booktube channel. We've only just created the banner for it, so there's absolutely no content over there at all, but we have started a Instagram page for all of the lovely books that we are reading at the moment. And so I would love it if you guys could join me over there. If you haven't heard of our little endeavor over there, it's just books, all different kinds of books, and we're having a really great time getting involved in the bookstagram sort of vibe over there, and interacting with other people. And it would be nice if we had some people from our communities, hers and my community, who loved to read as much as we do, and all different kinds of books, not just witchcraft or tarot, sort of non-fiction, to join us over there and interact with us. It would be really fun. The name of our Instagram account is Little Red Pages, red, R-E-A-D, and we brainstormed that mofo through Mercury retrograde. You would not believe how hard it was to name it. And then I was washing the dishes, and she was up at, I want to say 1 a.m., and we're backwards and forwards, and finally one of us threw it out. I think it might have been me off the back of something that she said, if there was a little something, and I think we collaborated, like both of us named it pretty much simultaneously. And it was such a challenge. When I said it, she just freaked out, quickly checked to see if the name had been taken, because it wasn't that we didn't have the inspiration for a good name. It was that we didn't have the inspiration for a good name that wasn't already taken. So lots of creative people in the BookTube community. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying things out in a different way. I don't know about you, but when you have your own style, I have my own style. I have my own, witchcraft aesthetic. I have my own, the way that I like to take my photos for my Instagram, for my Avalon camera and Instagram page. It's very moody. It's very brooding. It's very, I filter it, and I adjust the light levels, and I create something that's unique for who I am over there. And at times, I feel like this inner tug of war where I want to go into a totally different direction, have something brighter, crisper, cleaner, more vibrant. And I genuinely feel that this is my opportunity to sort of balance that out. So on one of my accounts, I can be totally dark and moody and do the things that I really like to do, which I think is totally wonderfully befitting of my style of witchcraft. Not everybody's style of witchcraft is like that. And then for the Bookstagram Instagram page, I'm so excited for it. It's all bright colours. And because we're little red pages, we would like to incorporate subtle hints of red, the colour red. I'm going to show you what our very tiny feed does. If you don't know, this is my Instagram. This is my main Instagram here. Oh, gosh. What are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. There we go. That's my main Instagram. And then here is Little Red Pages. This is what Little Red Pages looks like. And here is some of the feed that we have. We've only got that many photos. That's the number of photos that we've got there. Still really, really new. And it was only opened very recently. So it's like, it's brand new. It's like proper brand new. And it's so fun to be starting something new and exciting. So we will be eventually creating content for BookTube, and that will mean that the other styles of books that I'm reading don't infringe on this space. I'm still going to be reading my witchcraft non-reference. Lots of those, in fact, because I have partnered with the Witch's Box. And because of that, I have a commitment to get through as many of those books and do reviews. So you'll get plenty of witchcraft non-fiction over here, my thoughts, my opinions, my judgments, as it's often the case. I just come out sounding really judgy sometimes, and it's not my intention. But I'm really looking forward to getting through these ones. And yeah, so that's basically my full update. Earthly Alchemy box, done and dusted. Really excited for another Earthly Alchemy. They're stepping up their game so much. Dying about this. I'm gonna message Elder and just tell him that the Spiritus Purgo potion like changed my life. It's just like the chakra balancer one, changed my damn life. So I'm really excited for that particular one, and I would love to use the pendulum and do a little pendulum scrying, just a little play with the pendulum. It takes me a while to get used to a new pendulum. Like, it's a relationship that one must cultivate, I feel. And when we're using new tools, it's worth taking the time to really, I don't know, connect, to bless, to consecrate, to do those things with your tools. And yeah, introduce them to your gods. I'll be introducing them to my gods. As is often the case when I bless a new tool, it's an introduction process. And yeah, so, well, that's about it, folks. That's about all I have for you today. I'm busy creating content right now. I've got so much stuff. Let me have a, I want to show you my calendar. I'm going to throw some of this on the ground. It's going to sound awful. Yes, it did sounded awful. So all of that, I'm still writing it all in. That's content that I have created. That's content that I've created for the next week. It's a lot, and I haven't even done a lot of it. You know, I've got so much more to go, and so it takes up a lot of time to to create content in this way. I have Card Slinger Book Club and Coven to do. Yesterday I did a Coven Bliss Out. We had the best live chat ever, which was an initiation decompression session. So we just went through Coven initiations, and it's nice to get together after Coven initiations and a bit of a ritual to have a live so that people who participated in that experience can get a chance to get together, talk, and to decompress. And so we had the best gathering. Lots of people spoke out really boldly and bravely about their experiences, talking about how they had this revolutionary personal experience and how good it was to be talking about it. The live chat that was only meant to go for an hour and a half went for just over 2 hours. Everybody spoke, those who could. Some had technical difficulties. I managed to live stream directly to Facebook at the same time, and then I uploaded the 2-hour video to Patreon for the Coven tier for those who couldn't, and invited those who couldn't make the event itself, the live event, to contribute video content if they wanted to, or audio content directly to the Coven Facebook group. So that was great. Book club, we have got a theme going for Samhain Beltane over there, and we've got some games. We've got some little things going on over there, and there will be prizes at the end of the rotation of this Sabbath. So I'm accumulating cute little things for the book club right now, and I can't wait to do a little giveaway. What else have I got going on? Trying to get a hold of some creators. Well, it's not that I can't get a hold of tarot creators. I have them. I love them. They're good friends of mine, but time zones are a bitch to be able to navigate. And with the level of work that I have on my plate at the moment, sometimes I just can't align the time with them. But it's getting to that time now where I'm going to have a little bit more time spare because I've nearly finished my confirming of addresses. I've got about 100 to go. Probably less, actually, but probably about 60. And that in itself is really exciting. And then I will be able to start getting together with some of the creators and doing interviews for the Card Slinger tier, because that has been on my agenda for so long. But we are working a lot with the court cards at the moment. We're deep into the nitty-gritty of the court cards, because I do like to ask questions in the the Card Slinger Facebook group, to find out what people are struggling with as far as tarot goes, and to be able to provide fun, educational content, things that help to click in people's brains, things that are, a common part of our modern lifestyle. And I like to use what is common in our lifestyle, common media, celebrities, books, whatever's like really accessible that many people recognize, acknowledge, and understand. I like to use those examples and integrate that into, practical tarot tips. So right now I'm doing some really fun things with celebrities. We're introducing the decks that are worth buying day. Yeah, I'm doing heaps and heaps of stuff. Need to get a social media planner, actually, to be able to best, navigate the immensity of the amount of content that I create on a weekly basis, and go from there. So yeah, Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right there, beautiful souls. I've seen your Instagram and followed so fast. Thanks, Miss Jess. There was a book on fiction. It's called Graceling by Kirsten Kishore. It's a young adult fiction, but I never knew it was a different and unique take on magical powers. I like that, Miss Jess. Do I do tea readings? No, I do not. Lynn, I do not. Not because I am not interested, but because I have so many different forms of divination that I've tucked under my belt. And tea is something that I do recreationally, as in drinking it. They are so beautiful. Yay! Going to get into the Witches subscription box once I start back writing. That's awesome, Bria. That's so awesome. Got you live. Hi, Tamaya. How you going? Yes, thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. It's been so fun sitting here, chatting, unboxing, talking about some of the things that have been going on. Super excited about, about all of my endeavors going on at this moment in time. I'm excited to be finalizing the Bone Stone. I'm excited to be partnering with a really great company as far as books go. I'm excited to, work with Earthly Alchemy and all of their treasures because they're so unique to the Witch's Moon, who I'm also partnered with. And I've had a few beautiful creators of different things, decks and other bits and pieces reach out to me to see if I wanted to partner with them. And I'm always willing to, to work with people. I don't get paid oodles of money to partner with people, so I don't have sponsored content, if you will. So people gift me things in order for me to talk about them. And if I really like them, then I do. And if I don't like them, I still do. But you can tell that I don't love them. So I'm trying to be a lot more forthright and a lot more straightforward with you, as far as being very honest with how I feel about certain products, certain things that are sent my way. And I think a definitive turning point for me was during a conversation that I had with Alora. And she said to me, well, you like everything. And I'm like, no, that's not true. I try to be nice and polite about everything because I'm just well-mannered that way. If somebody goes through the trouble of gifting you something, then, it's the same. If you're having dinner at somebody's house and they put something on your plate that you don't like, for me, I was always taught to just suck it up and be kind and be respectful and eat that thing, unless, of course, I'm going to have an allergic reaction to it, in which case, that's a different thing. And so I've always wanted to just be polite to the people that are creating. But Alora pointed out that I have a duty of care to my subscribers to be honest. And there's a way of relaying my thoughts about certain products in a manner that doesn't necessarily hurt the feelings of the creator, but also gives my honest and genuine opinion. And so I've sat with that for a little while, and I decided that, I'm going to try that. And so I did that with my bookstagram thing when I was talking about Devin Hunter's books. I said exactly how I felt. I really talked about it from a point of view of someone who was coming at those books from a very different perspective. And I meant no disrespect and no offense to the author himself, but I just didn't jive with those books for various reasons. And I'm still working at seeing if I can bridge that gap and get in there with those books. But if I don't, then again, it's not something that I'm going to allow affect me, and I certainly don't want to be disparaging towards the author. But I think it sort of helped me to turn a page because I do work with a lot of companies and I do work with a lot of products, and being very honest and giving my honest review is something that I'm now so focused about. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Honesty is honorable. Kindness is a superpower. Aw, she's right, but man, that is difficult. Yes. Are there any decks left over, Avalon? Are they all gone now? There are decks left over. This is not supposed to be a Bonestone bash, but I'll say a little bit about what's going on over there. So I have just over 100 copies of the Bonestone to relist, and so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be relisting the Bonestone just for those leftover copies. I haven't yet fully confirmed how many decks I do have. That will take place once I have gone through the trouble of confirming all of the addresses. And so once I have confirmed every single address, I'll be able to see what is left over, go into my account on Etsy and determine whether or not they were refunds that were not properly processed. And once I have that final figure, I can then go through and relist them. Now, what I will be doing is once I have that final figure, I'm creating a newsletter talking about how many decks there are, when I'm going to list them on Etsy, and at what time. So the date and the time that I'll be listing them on Etsy. And that will be how I'm notifying people. Other than that, there is no wait list. I'm not holding on to decks for people. I've received so many messages for people, can you just hold a deck for me? Can you just hold a deck for me? And no, I can't, because just as many people are wanting a deck as well, and it's not fair to hold a deck for one person and not for another person. So I'm putting it out there that if people do want to stay in the loop as far as the acquisition of one of the spare decks, I'm calling them spare decks, but one of the leftover decks, then sign up to the newsletter, and I will be doing a newsletter blast, if you will, and letting people know when that is going to go up for sale. And that way you will know, and everyone can get amongst it if they want to. So bit scared for that day, actually, because I remember when I launched the Bonestone, it was insane. I did not expect what I received. Just crazy times. So hopefully it's a bit more of a mellow experience, despite the fact that I dare say it won't be. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, beautiful souls, thanks so much for thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed the unboxing of the Witch's Chest by Earthly Alchemy, which was absolutely beautiful, and my absolute 100% motivation or motivating factor to creating a live. I also talked about the Witch's book box, and that was really exciting. I also talked about Little Red Pages, which I hope that you guys can just join me on, because I want to be friends with lots of people over there, friends that are really into books, and just talk about books, because as my husband said to me, it's so good that you're into something other than tarot and witchcraft, because now we have more to talk about. He's not a witch and he's not into tarot, so it makes conversation a bit boring. I really hope that some of you can join me over there. If you're on Instagram, please do. Please do. That's not me begging. That's me asking to be your friend in multiple places on the internet. We're not going to be doing a Facebook page, but I am on Goodreads under Avalon Cameron, if you care. I don't even know how to use Goodreads properly, because when I really was into reading, there was no such thing as Goodreads. And so, yeah. I feel old. All right, beautiful souls. I'll be talking to you again soon. Wishing you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me, and for allowing me to talk to you about all the things that are going on, and to show you some of the beautiful things that are in my life, that I'm working with, that I'm unboxing, that I'm thinking about, and share a bunch of other little tidbits with you. So thank you again for allowing me to be a part of your day in this way, and for chatting with me, and for chatting amongst yourselves, because it's such an awesome little group, isn't it? So thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. See ya!